My big thing was the actual volume of my lifts. So prior to starting this program, I've always lifted, but I never really kept track of anything. I didn't really understand progressive overload. So I went back kind of in preparing for this and looked at my average weekly volume through phase 1 and my average weekly volume through phase 3. And I more than doubled. I went from about 16,000 pounds to 37,000 pounds. In legs, it was a straight doubling of volume. And then in upper body, it actually went 2.5 times more in upper body. And I think, a lot of that is confidence in knowing that I could push myself further, or what up to what point you should push yourself further, that I got out of the program. So the metrics I was really looking at was in volume of weight that I was moving each week. There's a couple. One, like I said, I had never really done a true progressive overload program before. So that in and of itself, learning how and when to increase either the weight or the reps, and when you get to a certain point, here's when you add more weight on, and why you keep track of all that stuff week to week, was a huge lesson for me, and one that I carry forward. Additionally, the mindset for me was really revelatory, both in confidence, which I'll talk a bit more about later on, but really in that mind-muscle connection, which you never really thought of. There's so many workouts I've done in my life where it was just, I got to get through it. Like, yes, I got to do these squats. Let me just get through these squats. And the only thing that was increasing or that I would notice would be my heart rate. And when I put that mind muscle connection to it and understand why I need the tension or where I should be feeling that muscle tension, one, increases the tension right away because you are feeling it where you're supposed to feel it. And two, it made my workout so much more enjoyable because I knew I was getting out of it what I was putting into it. So that particular lecture really stood out for me in really getting that mind muscle connection going. For me, more than anything else, it was the confidence in the gym. I've always, I'm certainly not a wallflower, but I also didn't feel super comfortable on what I call the bro side of the gym. And I had a trainer pre-COVID, and we would do a 30-minute session once a week. And then I'd go back a couple more times during that week and repeat what I'd learned, but I'd kind of stick to a tight little corner and only do the things that I was just shown how to do. Phase 1 of this program, I was still in my home gym, which I have a pretty decent setup. So I was able to complete all of phase 1 here. Phase 2, I was finally able to get back into the gym. And it really kind of struck me the very first time I walked back into the gym and went over to the weight racks was that A, nobody's looking at you and they're only thinking about themselves. And B, if they are looking at you, they're really impressed by your form because you know what you're doing. And for me, taking up the space that is rightfully mine to take up is something that all women can benefit from, and that I certainly, my confidence in the gym is just, I think that I came into it knowing that I was gonna get to learn a lot of the science stuff. I have never really been a big science person. I actually changed my diet about 2 years ago based on the gut microbiome and really kind of digging into why you crave the foods that you eat. Well, it's because the little nasty bacteria in your gut tell you to crave that food, right? So through that's what kind of turned me into this, like, well, maybe I do need to understand kind of the science behind all this stuff. So when this program came up, it was like, if I learned the science behind, hypertrophy training and building muscle, like all of a sudden I wanted to build muscle, whereas before I just wanted to lean out. And now I'm really into how big can that bicep really get? And I joke that I go to the grocery store now and I carry the little basket around so that I can flex my little bicep as I'm walking, as opposed to pushing that cart. I don't care how much stuff I got to stuff in that basket, I'm going to carry it because I earned that bicep. I think that if you're somebody like me who draws their motivation from understanding the why behind what you're doing, then this program is just absolutely for you. Whether it's the why the foundational movements are benefiting you and why you stick to those foundational movements throughout the whole program and progressively get stronger and stronger in those and not change it up. I think we're sold a lot in the fitness industry today to talk about, you got to keep your muscles guessing, keep your muscles guessing. So do different stuff every leg day. Well, that's not going to get you where you want to go if what you're trying to do is build muscle and build strength. And also, like, why does your body need to recover? Like, why do I really need to sleep? When you can scientifically tell me that, then I'm just going to do it. It becomes second nature. I liken it to, learning that seed oils cause all this inflammation in your body. Well, now I'll avoid seed oils like the plague because I understand why. It's just, if you can tell me why something is bad or why something is good, I'm going to buy all the way in. If you just tell me it's bad or good, then I won't. So I would say for anybody looking at this program that really is going to you're going to get all of that why information out, and it's going to make motivating yourself that much easier down the line. I credit The Rock actually with bringing me to Rachel and Ashley, which is, the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. I'll give it 6 degrees of The Rock. I was watching the Titan games and Dr. Jamie Seaman kicked ass. So I was following her on social media, and then she was on Rachel's podcast. So I listened to that once and then I was hooked. I was like, oh, there's so much to learn here. And then of course, Ashley was on Rachel's podcast. So then I started listening to Ashley's podcast. And you can learn so much through their social media, through their podcasts, and that's great. If you're learning an ounce from those avenues, this program is drinking gallons, because it's everything, it's put together, and they're just wonderful. The way they create content, the way they make it make sense. I really can't say enough about working with them.